What's up, all my high achievers? My name is Ashley Ray, and I am a people operations leader in the tech industry. I am also a career growth strategist. And today I'm going to be sharing my top 4 interview tips that will help you to increase your chances on getting that job offer. Now, before we go any further, make sure that you click that subscribe button so that you get a notification every single time I drop a video. My videos surround personal development, career growth, and increasing your money. So let's jump into it. I am constantly interviewing candidates. I interview about 4 to 8 candidates a week. And so while these tips that I'm sharing may not be your conventional interview tips, these are the things that I am actually seeing when I'm talking to candidates on a weekly basis. And these are tips that would actually help the people that I'm talking to get past me and move further along in the interview process, all right? So tip number 1 is bring your confidence. I know a lot of times women and people of color especially are told to be humble, don't brag, but let me tell you, the interview process is not the time for you to be shy, and it's not the time for you to be humble. This is a time for you to, however, highlight all the really dope accomplishments you've had over the course of your career. And if you don't show up confident in yourself, it's gonna be really hard to convince the hiring manager and the recruiter that they should also be confident in your skills. You wanna make sure that you convey to them in every step of the interview process that you are the person for them, okay? You're the person to take on the role that they're hiring for. They don't need to look any further. You are the person for the role. Now, the way that you can practice being confident is actually practicing your interview. You could do a mock interview with a friend. You can also record yourself answering these questions, interview questions, over and over and over again. And the more times that you practice it, the more you will improve your confidence, and the more you'll improve your confidence when you show up in your interviews. So practice makes perfect, y'all. Make sure that you're practicing before you go into those interviews. Number 2, paint the picture and tell the story. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people, especially those people who are in the midst of a career transition or changing roles, who when I talk to them, they are unable to share how their current skills and experiences align to the needs of the role that they're interviewing for. You have to remember, as a recruiter, I am not someone who's worked in every industry. I probably have never done the job that you are interviewing for or done the job that you are coming from, right? So in order for you to convince me that you can do the job, you need to really paint the picture for me and align your current skills and needs to the needs of the role that you're interviewing for. Now, the way that you can improve upon doing this is really taking inventory of the top 2 to 4 skills that you're seeing come up in the job description. Go back and look at the current skills that you have, look at some of the previous jobs that you've held, and focus your interviews on highlighting those skills. The company is hiring because they have a specific need and they have a gap that needs to be filled. And so if you're unable to speak to the impact that you've made in previous companies that align to what the company is looking for at that present time, it's going to really be hard for you to move through the interview process and get that job offer. Number 3, be prepared to speak to why you're interested in the role and in the company. A lot of times I will talk to candidates and it's very clear to me which candidates actually have a passion for doing the work that they're interviewing for. It's also really clear for me to point out the candidates who also don't have a passion for the role. Like, these are the people that are showing up and probably just needing to get a paycheck. They just want a job. As you continue to grow in your career and go to the next level, hiring managers are going to be more focused on finding people that have that longevity within the company. And so in order for you to show that, you really need to speak to the reasoning behind why you're interviewing for the role, why you're particularly interested in that company, and what is your passion behind what you are doing. And on top of that, you really should only be interviewing for roles that you have an interest in anyway. If you're interviewing for jobs just to get a paycheck and you're trying to do things that, just get you from one job to the next, it's gonna be really obvious to the hiring manager and the recruiter. So only interview for roles that you are actually passionate about working in, okay? And last but not least, this may come as a surprise to you, but make sure that you come to the interview prepared with questions. I have oftentimes gotten through some decent interviews, and I'll wait to the end to see, what kind of questions they're asking to determine if I'm gonna move that person to the next round. You'd be surprised at how many times people will only come with either 0 questions, 1 question, or maybe 2 questions at the most. And that to me tells me that the candidates are lacking curiosity and also didn't do their homework. You should show up to the interview prepared to ask 4 to 5 questions. When people show up with questions to ask, that tells me 2 things: that you're genuinely interested in the job and genuinely interested in the company. And that to me tells me that you are curious and that you have a growth mindset. The other thing that it tells me is that you've done your homework. This is the time to show that you have done your research on the company, read the website, looked at the values, you have done some research on the product, and you're showing that through the particular questions that you're asking, okay? And every hiring manager and every recruiter want to know that the candidate that's interviewing for the role is genuinely interested and has come prepared and done the homework, all right? I hope these 4 tips were helpful, and I hope that they help you to prepare for your next interviews. I know how frustrating it can be to feel like your resume is decent, you're getting to the interview stage, but you're getting that dreaded email saying that you've been passed up and they're moving on to additional candidates. But I promise you, if you can show up to these interviews and be more prepared, apply these tips, that you will increase your chances on moving along in the interview process and finally get that job offer that you've been waiting for. Feel free to drop some questions down in the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time.